Hi everyone, back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match preview for Newcastle United as a return to Premier League action at St James's Park this Saturday, 5:30 against Brentford. Thomas Frank's Brentford, who started the season really well. It's going to be a tough game for Newcastle, this one, but certainly after the first four fixtures, it looks like this could be a fixture potentially Newcastle could get back to winning ways, and boy, do we need to do it. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute, tell you how I think we're going to line up, look at some of the key stats and where we think the game may be won, hopefully not lost, because we need to get another win back on the books very, very soon. Just before I do, a little reminder, if you haven't already, please click subscribe. Come and join us. We're over 5,100 subs now. Loads of room for you guys. Smash that button. Come and join us. If you want to be a member as well, click the join button below. Feel free to be a member. It's $1.99 a month. We've got loads of goodies for you. Mark's been cooking up in his membership lab there, so check that out. You get early access to videos, even the odd rant or two from me, I'm sure, as well, which you'll get to hear before everybody else. So worth a click, help support the channel, and give us a go. Right, so let's get stuck in. And as I say, we've got Brentford coming to St James's Park at 5:30 on Saturday. Team needs changed, in my opinion. Team needs refreshed. We've just come off the back of international football. A lot of players have been playing for their countries, playing well for their countries. We picked up a couple of little knocks as well. There was a couple of doubts going into this game. Some players have declared themselves fit, but I don't think they'll make this game. So how do I think we're going to line up? Let's get right to the nitty-gritty. This is how I think Newcastle United are going to line up against Brentford on Saturday. You see, I made a couple of changes there, so I'm going to explain this. So the big change, one of the big changes you can see at the back there, I brought Lewis Hall in to make his debut. Now, I think the time is right for Lewis Hall to make his debut on more than one reason. I think the left-back spot is definitely been an Achilles heel for Newcastle, I think, certainly in recent weeks at the start of this season. Maybe it was the back end of the last season as well. Dan Burn's done a phenomenal job there, but he's not a left-back, never has been a left-back. And I think teams have started to figure out that's a weak spot to attack Newcastle at. So I'm putting Lewis Hall in there. I think Lewis Hall gives us a total different dimension. You've got Aaron Hickey on the other side who likes to get forward as well. With Lewis Hall there, he'll be more worried about staying back because Lewis Hall will be the one taking him for a run into the other half, and he's brilliant on the ball. He's got one of a left peg, and I really think the Lewis Hall St James's Park debut, he could really star in front of 52,000 Geordies, hopefully. So that is my first selection change in the team. Dan Burn continuing at centre-half. I'm not a huge fan of Dan Burn at centre-half. I think he's looked a bit exposed there, certainly with his lack of pace. And, listen, Brentford have got pace as well there with Mbembo and Rice there, who's started the season really well. Very dangerous, very quick to react in movements, great as well. So, both Burn and Shaw are going to have to be at the top of the game. Botman has declared himself fit, but I don't think Sven Botman will play. I think we'll be keeping Sven Botman, and I can't believe I'm saying this, for AC Milan on Tuesday night. Amazing. I can't wait to do a match preview and post-match for that one. Back in the Champions League after 20-odd years. Unbelievable. But I don't think that Eddie will risk Sven Botman in this game. I think you'll have Dan Burn continuing at left centre-back and bring Lewis Hall in for his debut. And maybe against Milan, you might see Burn go back to left back and Botman come back into that trusted back five, which obviously the rest of the back five is there. Kieran Trippier off the back of playing left back for England. Mental, people suggesting Kieran Trippier play left back for us. No fucking chance. He's the best right back in Europe, arguably one of the best right backs in the world. No chance he should be playing for Newcastle United left back, especially when we've got Lewis Hall there. And personally, I think Lewis Hall's a better player than Livermore. I'm just going to say it. I really don't understand why that signing was made. I hope it proves me wrong one day, but I just think we made that signing way too early. We could have invested that money elsewhere. So, yeah, that is a good, solid back five for me. I think Burn will need a bit of protection, but I think with Lewis Hall's pace and the pace in the midfield of Joe Linton and the ability to maybe step back and help Dan Burn could really help us. So, in the midfield, Sandro Tonali's missing because he's injured. Sandro Tonali pulled out the Italian squad because of injury. I think he might be a doubt for Milan as well. I think there's more chance he'll make Milan than this game. And I think Sean Longstaff comes back into that midfield alongside Bruno and Joe Linton. And Bruno starred for Brazil against Bolivia, set up a goal. Great pass and looked like the Bruno of old, relaxed, calm, enjoying himself. This new contract sounds like it's nearly done. So I hope that we see a Bruno Guimaraes, freedom playing the way that he does play. Certainly the way he played against Brentford at home last season when we battered them. Bruno was the star of the show. So I'm hoping that we see that as well. Joe Linton's obviously played for Brazil as well, so he's over this knee injury. Hopefully we'll see Joe back to his beast best, but he is going to have to keep one eye back there as well, I think, to help Dan Burn back in his kind of frail pace situation against the likes of Mbeumo and Reece. But the Brentford midfield are no mugs either. They like to get the ball. The likes of Janssen likes to get on the ball. He likes to get forward. And they do Norgard. They like to play with it as well. They're good on the ball. They can find good passes. They can switch it. So the lads are going to have to really be at it, both in an attacking sense and going backwards. But I think having Sean Longstaff in there and that little security that Sean can give you by stepping back in a bit could help Bruno and Joe really excel in this game like they have done in previous fixtures. So I'm really excited about that prospect. Obviously, I'd love to have Tonali there, but I just don't think he's going to be fit enough to make this particular game. The front three, I've made a change as well, a couple of changes. Miggy Almiron cannot start this game for me. Miggy Almiron needs to be rested. Now, rest Miggy, maybe start him against Milan if you want to. Might give him a little kick in the arse, maybe to screw down and be a little bit more clinical in his play. Or you might start Miggy in this game and he might save, Gordon or Barnes for Milan. But I think Gordon's playing so well in the Premier League, I can't see him getting dropped. And I think it's time for Harvey Barnes to have a start. I really do. We've seen some good cameos from Barnes. He was brilliant when he came on against Villa. Should have squared it for Wilson against Liverpool, but had another assist to his name, possibly drew as the game. So I think Barnes is ready for a start. And I think this start against Brentford is probably a better start than the Milan game on Tuesday night. So I can see this happening. Gordon going to the right, Barnes to the left, and then Callum Wilson I've got going through the middle. It's not because I have anything against Alexander Isak. I love him. I think he's brilliant. He's arguably one of the best strikers in Europe. But it's not been working for Isak for some reason. He's not getting on the ball. He's not receiving it in those key areas. He's starved a little bit, I think, to be fair. A lot that's to do with the change in the shape of the team. But I think Eddie might be more inclined to start Isak against Milan on Tuesday and save Callum for this game, start him in this game and bring Alex on and have a little bit of a change around between the two of them. So that's how I can see us starting against Brentford on Saturday. Let us know in the comments below if you guys think you'd make any changes to that, or if you think that's pretty much bang on what you guys would go for too. Obviously, with Tonali being out of the game potentially, I'm really hoping that there's a space on the bench as well for Louis Miley. We've talked about Louis Miley, how great he looked in pre-season. He's been missing from match day squad. I think it'd be really good to see him on the bench, maybe come on, hopefully for in charge in the game, maybe give him a chance to get on the ball and show us what he can do, in a winnable Premier League fixture as well. But there are no mugs, Brentford. They are a decent side. Thomas Frank hasn't played in a great way. They're aggressive. They work hard for each other. Great movement, great passing ability as well. They play through the lines. Defensively, they're solid. The wing backs like to push forward. So it should be a really good game, I think, for the neutral watching this. And where do I think we're going to go with this? We'll look at some of the key kind of historical stats around this fixture first. It might sway me one way or the other in terms of where I think the fixture is going to go. So some of the key head-to-heads there, as you can see there, going back to the key head-to-heads from obviously the 8th of April. You can see there's a 2-1 win there. 8th of October, again, a 5-1 win. That's where Bruno really starred. Got 2 goals there. He was absolutely brilliant in that. You can see there's a lot of wins for Newcastle in this one. Some draws, 1 loss. And right, going back to 1992, Mark's got there. So I'm not going back that far. I'll have to get myself in a DeLorean. But you can see that the fixture really does favour Newcastle, really. Newcastle have got 8 wins and Brentford's only got 1 in the last 10 meetings, is what that stat's all about. Since the start of last season, Callum Wilson is 7th of all players for goal continuous 23. Isak had 11, missed 11 games during this time period. He still managed 13 goals and assists combined. So I think Wilson will get the nod ahead for this game. I think that slide really helps to show that. Again, it just says there Newcastle have won 7 of the last 8 league games against Brentford, going back in 1992, scoring 24 goals in these 8 fixtures. That's a key stat as well. After keeping a clean sheet in 6 straight games in the Premier League from November 22 to January 23, Newcastle have only kept 2 clean sheets from 22 matches. So that's a little bit concerning. I think that's where our defence needs to get patching up. As I mentioned about the Dan Burn weakness there, I think people are exploiting that now, and I think that's clear for everybody to see. Newcastle have lost each of their last 3 league matches. They haven't lost 4 consecutive league games since January 21. Under Steve Bruce, nightmares. I don't know why Mark's put that in there. It's going to give me nightmares for the rest of the night. And a little bit about Brentford. Brentford have only been beaten once in the last 11 Premier League matches. They've got 6 wins and 4 draws there. They're unbeaten this season as well, so someone's got to beat them. I hope it's Newcastle at the weekend, and I think they're a brilliant side. I like that manager. I think he's a really good manager. I think he's one of those managers that you can see get a top job one day. And he, the fact they're doing this all without Ivan Toney as well is one thing. unbelievable that, Ivan Toney's their main man and they're still playing this well. And Wembo stepped up. Risa looks good when he's come in. Like I say, Janssen and Norgard in midfield play well. Hickey and Henry are great pushing forward from full back. So they are a really decent side at Brentford. This will not be an easy game at all, in my opinion, whatsoever. But Brentford have dropped most points from winning positions in the Premier League this season, 6, drawn against Tottenham, Palace and Bournemouth despite leading in each game. So they do get rattled. I think if you get in around them, even if they go in front, is the big message there. You don't have to worry about the fixture slipping away. But they do let goals in. But where do I think this game's going to go? I am going for a Newcastle 2-1 win in this game. I think it'll be tight. I think Brentford are a good side, and I think Newcastle aren't going to come and just steamroller this team at all. I think confidence needs to be rebuilt in the Newcastle team. I think we're doing a lot of good things, but we've also been doing a lot of silly things as well. I think giving the ball away far too much, certainly in the midfield. I think Bruno needs to get his head down and play. Not try stupid things, just keep it simple, keep it sweet, like he does. Pick those passes, look for the runs of Gordon, Barnes, Wilson, Isak. If he comes off the bench, look for those kind of runs as well. If Joe Linton's got a little bit more fitness in his legs in terms of that knee, I think he could really powerhouse that midfield out, because as good as Norgard and Jensen are, they're not strong, powerful as Joe Linton. I mean, there's very few midfielders in the league that are. So if Joe Linton is at it, he could really boss these lads off the ball completely. But the one player I'm really excited about, if my lineup is what Eddie Howe goes for, is Lewis Hall. I'm really excited about the dynamic that can bring to Newcastle United, because everything flows through Kieran Trippier really in our team. That right-hand side, which is generally Kieran Trippier and Miggy Almiron. The problem with Miggy is he's so easy to mark now as an opposing player. You can't deal with his blistering pace when he gets in behind you, because he's got an engine for days and he's so quick. But he just cuts back every single time on that left foot. Every single time. He either cuts back to cross with his left, or he cuts back to pass to Trippier. And people are cottoning on to this. We need to freshen the game up. So if you have a left back who's able to get forward like Trippier gets forward, and with his ability to run with the ball, his ability to pass and move, cross the ball in. And I think Barnes is going to have to be disciplined in this team as well, to drop back in a little bit when Lewis Hall flies past him on that overlap. Barnes is going to have to look for that ball. He can't dilly-dally like he did for that pass to Wilson. If Hall's gone by him, he's got to slip that ball through. Hall can get the byline cut across. Wilson's movement is spectacular in the box. We've seen that. If Barnes and Hall can get forward on the left-hand side, and Gordon and Trippier can get forward on the right-hand side, this could be a goal fest for Callum Wilson. If Bruno's at it and he looks up, gets his head up, makes the right passes at the right time, again, he could slip a through ball to Wilson. Wilson could be really in the goals here. Bruno himself could be in the goals here. So I'm really excited about that lineup. I think Newcastle should get back to winning ways in this game. It won't be easy because Brentford are no pushover, but I think we'll win this game 2-1. We bounce into AC Milan on Tuesday night with a bit of confidence. I think we'll see the return of Sven Botman and Alexander Isak in that lineup, and maybe Sandro Tonali as well, because he will not want to miss that game. But yeah, I think this is a Newcastle win of the weekend, back to winning ways, take some of the pressure off Eddie, take some of the pressure off the lads, calm some of the fan base down, get back into winning ways, get back into a stride, hopefully get a good result in the Champions League, and then the season is back alive again. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree with my lineup or my thoughts there in the game. If you think the result's going to go a different way, I'm pretty sure Brentford fans will do, to be fair, but it should be a really exciting game. I'll be back with a post-match review straight after the game, quick half-an-hour chat with you guys, just obviously let you know what we thought about the game, and we'll all talk about it in the comments as well. If you're new to the channel, you're just chatting us out for the first time, smash subscribe, love to have you on board. Like the video as well, really helps the channel grow. And if you fancy becoming a member, as I said, there's an option down there to do so. You get early access to views, which would be, videos, opinion videos, rants, and all sorts of stuff as well. So smash that button, come and join us, be part of this growing evermore community. It's a great community here. Everyone's great in the comments, no abuse on this channel. We always hear people's opinions too, whether we agree or disagree with you. Always welcome in the evermore corridors as well. So have a cracking day, whatever you're doing, guys. Let's hope the lads bring home 3 points of the weekend. Away the lads, away Eddie, and let's get back to winning ways. See you later, everyone. Cheers, bye.